I am just absurdly excited for this. We are here today with early access to the multi-class weapon pack in patch 9.1, and a huge thank you to Expansive Worlds, as always, for the opportunity to check this out just a little bit early. There have been a lot of weapon packs to come out in the Hunter Call of the Wild, probably 15 or so by now, and this is the one that I am the most excited about. And the DLC and patch 9.1 will release on Tuesday, April 14th on all platforms. And if you'd like to wishlist the DLC, there's a link in the description. That'll work whether you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, any of those. So, first things first, we are going to fire these things, and we're going to start with the 500 Jeffrey. I cannot wait to hear this thing. Oh yeah. That sounds really nasty. Now, you have infinite ammo if you're actually here, so if we back up, we can see what the action and the fire rate looks like. Not bad. There's a little, delay there between working the bolt and when I think I can fire and when I actually can. Let's pop the scope off just to see what that looks like. I don't know if you can feel that. There's a tiny window after we close the bolt where we're still not getting that shot off, but for a weapon this powerful, classes 8 to 9, still pretty quick firing. Now, we have the 25-06. We'll just do the same thing from back here. Nice quick bolt work. We can cycle that action so fast. And that was a 5-round capacity, I do believe. It is indeed classes 2 to 7. So we're covering everything from Red Fox up to Black Bear and I think Elk. That gun is going to be really good. Now, one of the most important things, and we didn't actually check the zeroing, 500, standard, 75, 150, 300, 25-06, same thing. Now, we have the 17 HMR with its 10-round capacity, and yes, you can zero to 300 meters. Now, for the first time, we're actually going to move one of these targets through the fog. Let's just see how this goes. Right on. And I can already just tell from the sound of the gun, it's not going to have the ability to do the 22 strat, but it is going to have the ability to really accurately shoot at long range. Now, I want to see if we switch to the Argus scope. That is 400 meters. Now, the first question, where does it hit if we aim dead on? Is the crosshair slightly thinner or something? I feel like it is. Okay, we're completely below the target of 400. 1 mil dot right at the bottom. 2 mil dots were pretty close. Oh yeah. That's not going to be terribly difficult to figure out if you carry the Argus scope. 400 meters, 17 HMR shots are going to be a thing. Just real quick, I want to see how fast it actually can fire. When we work the bolt, it does enough, kind of jostling the scope that a super fast follow-up is going to be a little bit more difficult, let's say, than the 22 Virant. But with the power and, in theory, the accuracy at long range, those follow-ups shouldn't be as necessary. And finally, we have the Cassidy combination shotgun. So by holding R, we can switch which barrel we're using. Evidently, we need to do that to start with, so that should imply, anyway, we're using the 22 Magnum ammunition. And it is the same, by the way, as the 22 Magnum that came with the pump flip and fire pack. I want you to notice there is actually a little dent on the rim of the casing, indicating that it's actually spent. Now, if we swap, can do it without taking the weapon off our shoulder. You hear the difference? That was our 12 gauge slug, and I don't know what 12 gauge ammo we're really going to want to use for this. We'll have to go through it. I feel like birdshot wouldn't be a bad idea. Just the ultimate class 1 and 2 coverage. Both of those, it appears. 0, 50, 100, and 150. Alright, the range is great and all, but we gotta test this on some live game. Now the plan was to start with moose. I thought maybe we'd have some drinking down here. They do have new antlers with this patch. I don't see any. Had that pheasant flush near us, maybe we could have gone for that, but it looks like the 25-06 might be the first weapon we actually get to test. So that is 150 meters. I'm not going to go for a heart shot. Let's just go for lungs and see what happens. Nice mule kick. He is going to make it, like, what, 3 steps? Not too bad. And I really want to make sure we try it on some class 7 stuff. But, like, if we compare that to the 257, it feels like it's roughly on par with it, maybe a tad better. And, of course, it's got that extra class of 2 to 7 versus the 257's 2 to 6. And, I mean, no need to check the quick kill. We know that's going to be full. Straight through both lungs. Looks like it's actually poking out the far side of the right lung. Pretty solid performance. Now, I think all the weapons, other than the combination shotgun, because that's got, like, existing ammunition, they all have 2 different types. If we go into our ammo here, we have, like, the 17 HMR, polymer tip, and the full metal jacket. 25-06, I only grabbed the polymer tip, and then with the 500 Jeffrey, I did get both the soft points and the solid bullets. We're going to try them both and see how it does. Oh, there we go. Cow moose feeding out there. Oh, I made the time too late. That's why there were no moose there. Okay, there's a bull. At about 82. Not the best angle, but I mean, a 500 Jeffrey round, if we can get it aimed at the heart, I think we'll get through. Definitely an old rack, and I don't know. That was kind of neat. I don't know if you can get any new racks without harvesting them and like getting the respawns. There we go, head up. Oh, the sound is amazing. Reload looks really good. That was sick. 8 to 9 is going to be so much fun. I talked about it in the video where they revealed it with the trailer. I've wanted a class 8 to 9 gun literally forever. It has that extra feel of something, you know, just a tier above. Let's say the 375. Through the lung, through the heart, pretty much right out the front of the chest. Pretty darn good. You know what? Nope, these antlers are different. The lighting is not great in here. Let me find a screenshot of an old bull moose. I think moose antlers got to rework entirely. See the ridges along the antler and stuff there? Hang on, let's back out of here. This will show it. Can see the burrs a little bit. Oh, they look 1,000 times better. Look at that. But this left antler, that is a new one. I don't know if the right one is. I think the left one is entirely new. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I don't know how much not moose hunting we're going to do here. We have other guns to test, but oh my, this is like every antlered animal I feel like needed the mule deer treatment that they got. Quick look at the moose there. That kind of looks like they might have gotten it. So there we go, got another moose. I can see it from here. The antlers are definitely different. I wonder, like, will we see old moose rack? Oh, that color is so good. Like the ivory tines where like he's been rubbing them on trees and stuff. We need a big bull though. I think he maybe has matching sides from the right side of that last bull that we killed. That's the highest estimate. Can we get them both? Maybe. Go prone here. We'll try to go a heart shot and then lungs on this one. Oh, that thing I talked about. There's a tick there where it feels like you should be able to get a shot where you can't. And I don't know if it's just like that I'm mistiming it. I'm not sure. Either way, we got the main important one, but that is, I love this gun, don't get me wrong. That is the biggest downside though. There appears to be just like a half a tick where you gotta wait to get your follow-up. I mean, that is just, it's 1,000 times better. Is the scoring any different, I wonder? Beautiful reddish color. Again, you can kind of see like the ridges in the antler where they grew, the burrs. Diamond is the same, 274.99. Gonna be interesting then if it's, you know, effectively the same antlers that are just retextured. I mean, there should be some new racks, right? Because they said there were new ones, but it seems like everything got a rework because we haven't seen an old looking moose yet. Oh, look at that one. That's definitely new. And I really feel like authentic looking. That's new as well. Oh, this is so cool. I love this. Now that appears to be Yeah, that's that. Basically the smallest max weight estimate moose you can get. I want to make sure we get a look at that too. But these dudes, just some really neat looking, like, kind of younger bulls. There's that one, really light colored antlers there. There's a ton of moose in this tiny little area. Those are definitely redone. The basic frame is the same, and I guess, you know, that's kind of how the diamond and I assume gold requirements, I didn't look, have stayed the same. Let's, like, that's the one I really want to get. And then maybe we can get that one too. Gonna leave him spotted. Try to punch through the heart on this. Make sure we have that spotted again. It's just a little bit too late with that follow-up. Yeah, we definitely got him. This 500. We're 3 for 3 on heart shots. But the quick follow-up, like, I wouldn't say this is a moose grinding gun, for me anyway. I'm very sure that it takes a little bit longer to get those shots off. If we're just doing a moose hunt, though, it does a really good job. Look at that. Big, long brows. That is unique. I can't wait to see some of the, like, the bigger new racks. But this is one, you know, very clearly an old rack, but redone. Is he uneven a little bit? He is. His brow tines are different. Kind of cool if you look like it almost tried to fork, but it didn't. The palms are so much better than, like, the ends of the tines. He was just starting to take off when we got that shot, and then still just crushed him with that 500 Jeffrey solid bullet. I mean, that's I need anybody that hasn't hunted moose before to understand. This is absurd. Maybe the 375 could do this. I don't even think it could. Double lunging a moose is difficult. The 300 Canning Magnum perfectly broadside close range often won't. That got stomach, liver, and double lung on 113 meters at that angle. That's a potent round, man. Okay, I'm not done with moose. I need to see more. I think they drink up north at least a little bit, but that can get us in dusky crowds and, like, mule deer and stuff territory, so we can actually use the other guns. Okay, so Manitoba Elk R Class 7. That's asking a lot. 300 meters, 25-06 at a Manitoba Elk. Can we actually get lungs, and how quickly, if we do, will he go down? I find I kind of struggle with bedded down animals to begin with. Should be right in there. Got a nice roll animation out of him. Not dropping yet, and frankly, I wouldn't expect him to be. See if we start to see that health go down. Not by the time we lose the spotting. By the way, some moose and stuff hung around. Let's maybe shoot that sort of wiry one just to see. The issue is, if we heart shot him, he'd go in the water. Luckily, we missed that, so we had to go around and go look for our elk anyway. So there is our moose, and by the way, we got that elk. At least at that angle, maybe wouldn't recommend the 25-06, but it can do it. Even with, like, the super spindly rack, you can see all those ridges and stuff in the antlers that I was talking about. Really nice, even on just a little 123 scoring silver. Just to the left of the heart, barely got a single lung, just to know. Quick kill of 62.5% with a single lung shot from, you know, the solid bullets, not even the ones with the higher expansion, which we are going to test those eventually. Oh, what? This isn't even like one of our grinding zones. I mean, it's a zone that's a problem. Wait. Wrong gun. Don't know about that. That's one of the newer mule deer racks, too. Okay, that could be awesome. And the 25-06 is going to be the only gun we can even ethically take that with. Is going in the direction of our Manitoba elk, at least for now. Too bad he wasn't in his zone yet when we were over there. So they're coming back. Question is, where is that big buck? I would imagine they're all together. There he is. Okay. Make sure. Yeah, that's the 17. I want to make sure we use the 25-06. These are going to get awfully close before we get a shot at him, and that could be a problem. There's the small bucks. Just keep on backing up. It might just make the rest of the herd, like, turn and walk away if these does flee. There he is. Just clear the trees. Stop him there. I'd love to try to heart shot, but I think lungs will be fine. he's going down decently quick. Not too bad, given, you know, the fact that we can hunt foxes with this gun. I think that rack makes diamond. I don't know if that one can troll. So we may have a diamond with a new weapon already, and we still gotta go track that elk. He's actually laying right there as well. Where are we? Okay. Ended up going straight north from the lake. I didn't know what that outpost was. So, a rack that I think at least we have. Wait, is he uneven? Oh, he is. I'm not sure what that'll do then. He still is a diamond at 323? That's kind of cool. He's got like the inside fork, or extra tine to make it a fork on this side. It's on the outside of his back fork on his right. Single lung with the 25-06 at 66 meters does 57% quick kill. Not bad at all. We will take that. I mean, going over here to track an elk, and we got a diamond with the 25-06. So not only can they take down muley with, you know, even just an average shot pretty quickly, apparently can take down elk, maybe not so quickly, but it can bring them down. Now keep in mind, very low bleed rate on that, but it ran in total about 250 meters. Not terrible, given, you know, the weapon that we're using. It was single lung, now barely, part of that being the shot placement, but as you can see, it just like having to punch through all that extra flesh, just hit the absolute edge of the lung. 0% quick kill as we would expect, but brought him down. Not too bad. If that's your only option for a class 7, you know, with your loadout for whatever reason, maybe you're carrying the 500 so you don't have that extra class 7 coverage, it can do it. Ooh, there we go. There's a big old moose. 205 to 259. I think both sides are existing racks, but obviously they'll have been redone. That still looks a whole lot better even from a distance. Why don't we try 300 meters with the 500 Jeffrey and see what that can do. Now, getting to the right spot where we can see that far might be a little bit of a challenge. And by the way, I don't know if that's a new rack. I don't think it is, but I really don't hunt moose that much anymore, and especially don't pay that much attention to the smaller ones. That's going to be 300 meters, and if he stays like that, a really tough angle. We've seen what this round can do. Let's ignore a heart shot and just try to get lungs. Somewhere in there, I would think. Not dropping yet. Now he is. That'll be a lung hit for sure. Definitely going to drop some quick kill. I don't know if it'll be all the way at 0. That'll be neat to see. So still medium bleed rate. He's down right up here. Oh, that is just so nice to see. It harkens back to the old legacy racks. You know, when obviously there wasn't the random element, that right side maybe knew it. Maybe it's just the texture just looks that good. But seeing it all, again, the ridges, the brow tines look excellent. Oh, that is just so nice. So he's a 237. I kind of feel like the right side's new. I don't recognize like that curvature with the brow tines and stuff. I'm fairly sure that's not just a retextured rack. Hard to say, but that's the way it looks. So, single lung 305 meters. Still 38.9% quick kill. Really, really solid. And honestly, maybe at that angle, it would have made more sense to use the soft points. So finally a Dusky Grouse sitting here. And by the way, a pretty nice one. So we're going to go with the combination shotgun. We only have one shotgun round. Kind of bamboozled us, but we hit him. Not too bad. I don't love the open sights here. Like, trying to... Ooh. Let's go that way. I'm going to just, like, place a marker kind of that direction so we know where to go. Anyway, trying to quickly acquire a target with that big, bulky sight. Not exactly ideal, but I get it because, you know, if we were to switch to the 22 Magnum ammunition, we want something a little bit different for longer range shooting. So that was a 142, not too bad. 2 pellets, I didn't feel like it was an amazing shot, so that's not surprising. And it's probably obvious, but in case you didn't notice, when you switch barrels, you can see which ammo is like active. So that's the shotgun, that's the 22 mag. There we go. So maybe this time, because we've not actually shot it yet, let's go with the 17 HMR, 04 150. Now I believe that was the polymer tip rounds, and it's a little bit in that sense like the 22 Magnum, in that, you know, that shot didn't just immediately drop it. Or wait, no. Yeah, the polymer tips actually have more expansion. So the full metal jackets, I would imagine, it would really fly a pretty decent distance. You'd maybe want to use the full metal jackets for, let's say, a gray fox, a red fox, something where just hitting the lung is more important than how quickly you bring it down. I don't love how slowly that died. I would add, you know, I'll take Dusky Grouse that dies in 3 seconds as opposed to Dusky Grouse that I missed 4 times. That was a stomach shot, too. I definitely want to try to get one far away, and there is more tracks here. We'll kind of see if we can locate one. But I was hoping that it would maybe kill him a little bit quicker than the 22 Magnum does. Got another pretty good looking moose. 237 to 291. Now, I think he's like a match set for the last big one that we killed. So I have the soft point rounds. I kind of want him to go alert and then try to get him this turn broadside. There we go. What I want to do is get a solid lung hit and see how that performs. It's not perfectly broadside, but I think we'll take it. Just punch through the shoulder and see what happens. Definitely got through. No issues there at all. I think that'll be full quick kill. Which definitely makes it interesting as like your moose hunting round. I mean, we saw the polymer tips, or the solid rounds, do incredible. I wonder if that was single lung or double lung. It's still medium bleed rate as we can see down there. The rack, by the way, so much improved. 245 score was single lung, and it is full quick kill. I don't even know that you can go wrong with your ammo choice, but we've talked about it before. Since they went to the new scoring system, and that's been 6 years now, all you gotta do is poke the lung, and you're good on that. So typically, whatever round has more penetration, in this case the solid bullets, are the better choice. But if you want to bring down moose quickly, we saw what the soft points can do. Now, of course, moose aren't the biggest animals on the map, nor are they the biggest animals in the game. These guys are. So let's try a 300 meter shot with the 500 Jeffrey on one of these things, whichever one will stand more broadside for at least just a second. Ideally walking, not trotting, but they're nice and broadside. I mean, I bet we could get it. There we go. He's walking. They both are. Just get that through there. He's dropping already. Pretty good deal. I mean, that's impressive. These guys are no joke. They might run really slowly, but they are absolute tanks, especially at that distance. That was lung and liver. We can't really see what happened because the harbor screen's doing whatever that is. Back to the solid bullets, 277 meters, 65% on the quick kill. On the biggest animal in the Hunter Call of the Wild, at least by max weight. Really, really nice. That 500, any map that has like class 8s and 9s, Ski Ridge, Yukon Valley, that thing is going to be in our loadout, guaranteed. I love this gun. Now this I thought would be interesting. We've got a whole bunch of beavers out here, and we can ethically use the 17 HMR on them. Now, we're looking closer to 350 meters, and we know it was 2 mil dots to 400, so like, we didn't test it, but in theory, 1 mil dot at 350 would make sense. If he'll just sit still, because I really don't want to try to do holdover and lead. Well, we hit him. I guess we'll see what happens. It's not killing him, but we may well have missed lungs. Now, he should float to that point if he dies, so that's kind of where we'll aim for. There's some others. Let's also, because what is also ethical is the 25-06. Let's get one with that. It doesn't really matter which one. I guess this one. That's a little more like it. Dead instantly. Oh, look at these. All popping right back up. I don't see the injured 4, which, frankly, I wouldn't expect it to pop right out of there. One more, and that's too much pressure. The 25-06 is just a killer. And based on hunting pressure and the fact there's only 2 beavers over here, that 17 HMR shot doesn't seem to have killed that one, at least not yet. And I would kind of think, well, that was a heart shot at 375. That was the one that, like, died instantaneously. Wait a minute. What am I getting wrong here? Oh, 3 to 7. Hold on, it was 2 to 7 in the trailer. That makes a huge difference. Surely it's not ammo specific, right? Oh, it is. The soft points cover 2 to 6. The polymers cover 3 to 7. That's actually kind of cool. That might be the only gun where that's the case. I mean, there are guns where different ammos cover different classes. That is very rare, though, where you actually kind of have a reason to carry both. Now we do. Okay, so now, with the proper ammo actually equipped, let's try this again. And really, like, with the soft points, I would imagine a hit is going to do just as well. Get prone here. I'd like to get that 4, but honestly, any that will give us like a somewhat still shot, I think we'll be fine with. That one's decently broadside. Punch right on. Yeah, just killed it instantly again. Pretty good. There's that one. Literally, if anything, they're just better, at least for the class 2. And we've got moose that seem a little bit confused over here, but our beavers are floating on in. Lung and stomach at 325. I mean, full quick kill, obviously. And, actually ethical, got our level 428 score. Top of the lung and vertebrae just for good measure. That's really cool. I like that. Now, I can imagine getting burned by having the wrong ammo equipped, because that's not something that we're really used to, but pretty darn cool. This was actually the last thing I wanted to test, so rather good timing. What is the actual range on that? Like 330. Let's line up with the 17 HMR. We'll probably have to aim like kind of back height at that mallard. And I want to see if we can get it and if it dies immediately. Diving down's actually not bad. I'm not sure if we aim too high or too low, but that is going to be the downside. They're out of there immediately versus like with the Virant. Had we missed that, could have just tried again. Man, it is easy to take for granted like just a nice, chill 300-meter shot. At least here on the ski ridge, lots of little hills and stuff that are in the way. So that is like dead on 300. We'll make sure. That says 291. Guess we'll back up a little bit more just to be sure. Put it somewhere in the middle. All right, we're 0 for 300. It is just sitting there. That's a little more like it. Okay, maybe just some poor shooting. Still bringing it down awfully quickly, which, you know, isn't ideal. But at least it, well, now brought it down. By the way, I mean, if we're gonna do this, why not get a little more usage out of the combo gun? That killed instantaneously. I like this thing. This is gonna be a lot of fun to mess with. The fact that we can, let's grab this, 131 scoring gold for that, with the 22 Magnum barrel, the fact that we can zero out to at least 150, I feel like this is gonna be something I carry maybe more than the 17 right now. We'll see. The long range zero is great, but I really would like 22 Virant-like performance. There has not been, minus the 22 AR, and it's the same ammo, there has not been that weapon that kills like the 22 does, let alone the silent aspect of it. The 22 Magnum, the 22H, the 17 HMR, all of them seem to bring the birds down way more slowly. But either way, this whole DLC, 4 different weapons, and it might be the first one that so thoroughly covers all classes from 1 to 9. I mean, you've got multiple options here with the combination shotgun, obviously. We have the 17 HMR for classes 1 and 2. With the right ammo choices, I unequipped it to grab the Fox Pro because I thought I needed it. The 25-06, going from 2 to 7, and the 500 Jeffrey. This thing is an absolute cannon. Well, I was gonna end the video there. However, I realized for the thumbnail I didn't tax any of those moose, and then I came here to medbed, and that's standing out there. That with the, like, you can even see it just from here. That with the new antler textures is so much better. Definitely an old rack with those massive, like, shovel brows, but that is potentially a diamond we could take with the 500 Jeffrey. So the wind is terrible. 175 ought to be fine. Let's make sure we zero for 150. Whenever, oh, look at that. The coloration on the antlers is 1,000 times better. Now that he's standing upright. Just gonna punch it right on through there. Little nosedive. Ooh, that can make for a really nice photo. I sure hope he makes it. This, and I imagine at some point I probably shot a moose for something else. I don't think that's just been sitting on my map forever, but it's interesting to think maybe that's been there since our moose grind and Great One Moose years ago. I don't know. But like, what an upgrade. Look at the individual tines. You can see the grain of the antler running all the way out. This is what I was talking about with that other big one. Like, it harkens back to the old legacy racks where they look hyper realistic, but you've got the true rack aspect. And I will tell you, I'm looking at this, I kind of think it might troll you super narrow looking, but it makes the moose so much better looking. Diamond or troll, to see the moose, you know, this good now, it is so nice to see. The old sort of just browns and tans blended together as the antler texture, to see it as this now is amazing. Let's see what we just shot. It's gonna troll 268.71, but that is a beautiful looking moose. I can't wait to see some of the new diamond racks. Look at that grain running down into the brow tines and stuff. They are massively upgraded. Definitely we have a whole lot more moose hunting to do to try to get some of those, and heck, like, all of our old moose are going to be, you know, still have the old antler texture in the lodge, so we gotta get a whole bunch of them to replace those in our lodge with the new ones that look that good. But now officially, unfortunately, with the troll, but hey, we got to see a 5 rack. That is gonna do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.